Hello guys, welcome back to the Forensic Detailing channel on Unplugged channel, whichever one we put this on. It'll be informal potato can. My engine bay, I'm just going to give it a little wipe over and clean. Like the scuttle hasn't, the car's pretty clean, but I didn't do a very good job on the scuttle. You can't really access it unless you open the bonnet up and the engine bay up. So when I wash it, it doesn't get that clean. So what I'm going to do, and the engine bay, I'm just going to dress the main plastics on top of the engine block, the intake part there, and the airbox, and the plastics, and the front bit, and all that sort of stuff. So I've got this I bought some glass cleaner, and the Carbon Collective guys chucked in some other products, which is really nice. It gives me something to talk about. So this has been sent in, I guess. I haven't paid for it. Satin Rubber Protectant is the name of it. So the first thing is I want to see if I can use it on plastic. Our Satin Rubber Protectant creates a non-sticky, durable satin finish on tyres, rubber and exterior trim. So I'm reading that as plastics as well. Protection lasts week, not days. Always applied to a dry surface. Clean thoroughly with APC or citrus cleaner. Well, I'm going to use my own homebrew panel wipe. Just so there's less rinsing, you know, to clean it all down. And just a dirty microfiber towel. It's not that dirty, you know what I mean, a rag. Ensure it's free of oil and silicons and dirt, I guess, so it can stay on the surface. Apply 3 or 4 sprays onto one of our foam applicators. Apply evenly over the surface until the coating turns clear. Apply a second coat if you want, I guess. Well, I'm adding that because I'm only going to do one. Remove excess from paint and wheels, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to apply it onto this pad and you know, do the business that way. So I'll just keep the camera rolling, and we can chat as well while I'm doing it. So soak this out first using the panel wipe. Is less sort of surfactant. Let's turn the light on so I can see what I'm doing. Stuff is just getting in, wiping things. It's not actually that dirty. It'd be more grime coming off. It's just kind of a bit dusty. The car is booked in to have loads of work done on it in August. Put about £5,000 or £6,000 worth of work. Alloy wheels, I've talked about this before. Alloy wheels, refurbing, new back box. All the brake lines need redoing. You know, the actual metal brake lines. We have a new clutch put in it because it's reasonably cheap for these cars. The flexi hoses for all of them, the drop links, lots of random bushes, both front control arms, lower control arms, loads of other things as well, just to get the car sorted. Oh, a service as well, inspection 2 service. Get the windows sorted out because they're not closing properly, which is a pain. And quite a lot of other jobs as well, I can't remember. Oh, I think the fan needs to be replaced. Some other parts as well. So that will get the car all sorted. It's quite well rust protected underneath, and obviously up top as well. After the respray job, they've put in the cavity wax everywhere, so the car's quite sort of future-proofed, you know, which is good. Okay, so that's just a quick wipe over. So we've cleaned what we're going to dress, which is always important. The main bulk of it. Yeah, you've got to, that's the reality of these cars. And so let's just give this a really good shake. And I'm just going to put quite a lot in here. You can see that, just soak it all out. There we go. And let's bring you in. See what this stuff looks like. Hopefully it darkens it off. Yes, that's quite a lot. But we can go back over it at the microfiber and get anything while it's still, you know, if there's too much. It smells nice. That's the front, I don't know what that's called, cover plate. Just get that excess off. Yeah, we're still clean. This is the bit you really want to be looking good. All the way down there, way over there, get that nice and fresh. Don't sing. You can watch the stats on your channel. The retention, whenever I start humming or whistling or singing, the retention goes woof, down like a rocket. Don't sing. Right, let's get this. Get in these little recesses. Get in there. In there. Along there. And over the top. Right, let's get the air box. It's nice that you don't have to keep topping up. See, it's still nice and wet. You can always, some of them, you can just spray in, can't you? Let them go all over everything. And like hyper dressing, spray them all in there. Even the autoglym, just douse it all. And then blow it all out. But I don't like to just do it this way. Okay, so that's most of the bits. I like the fact it's not slimy. Okay, now let's load up a bit more to the scuttle. Might dress my work surfaces. It's this is correct. This is ceramic coated. This scuttle. I have to go over this. I think there's quite a lot there. Let's get these rubbers done as well. All the way down there. That's it. Let's get the other rubber while we got quite a lot. That's it. And this piece, we have to clean the glass afterwards. Get it all in there. I can still see the dust in that over there. Down into that wiper blade bit. And there we go. Let's put that there. Let's just fold our rag microfiber towel. See if we've got a cleanish side. That'll do. Just get the excess in here. That's better, yeah, so we lose any trace of whiteness. And over here. Sorry for the camera work. Get all that off there. I'll leave it on the rubbers. And all over there. Let's just freshen that up quite nicely, actually. That's really good. Right. yeah, it just does need that wipe. You see, like it looks a bit patchy, and then you go over it, you wipe off with a dry one, you just get a more consistent sheen. So that dry rub is good. It's sheening up a bit now. Let's get the same with this. It's doing a good job, guys. Not too fussed about the engine bay in this car. It's just nice and standard, nice and normal. That's doing a really good job. Yeah, that's it. I'd be happy with that. It's gone from dusty and you know, a little bit tired to now looking a bit fresher. That's about most of my plastics. This is still in good nick, or good enough nick. Oh, I've got to do the engine mounts in this as well, because this bit keeps whacking on the underside of the engine when I accelerate hard, which I don't often do. Well, this car's not that quick, but still have some fun with it. I need to get rid of that little bit of corrosion there. Just because that looks a bit dodgy. Just a little bit of rust. That'll probably a bit of metal polish on that. I'll do that now. I need to repolish the metal on my exhaust tips of my M4CS. I thought the metal polish that I recommend with a sealant in it, I thought it turned my exhaust pipes brown after the track day. So I did a video and polished them off with Auto Sol, which is just a polish, and they went brown after the Bedford track day as well. So it's not this polish. For some reason, those titanium exhausts seem to tarnish when you do a track day. Probably some titanium oxide or something. I don't know. You tell me. Why do they go brown? But it polishes off. Oh, that reminds me of another thing, but we'll do that later. So let's just put some. You really have to shake this. It really isn't well emulsified, but I can live with that. And I don't like this lid as well. It clogs a bit. A little bit of metal polish. Let's see how that does. It's probably not going to be aggressive enough, is it? Need to put maybe a little de-ruster tool, a little de-ruster on a drill bit and go at it. Damn, I lost a bit down there. Let's get that back. Oh, it is coming off. Yeah, that's going to take a bit of elbow grease. A bit more than the soft microfiber and a polishing pad can do. So let's take a drill. Let's take a de-rusting bit. What have I got? Where is it all? It's down here. I'll go with an acrylic piece. That'll do it. Let's put that in there. Forgive the camera work. We've got that in our thing. We're on speed 2. Let's go clockwise. Just smash that. Need 2 hands really. Loads of probably need to that's better. You could polish the hell out of that, couldn't you, if you wanted to? I was speaking to guys at Players, and like they managed to get bits like this actually shiny by polishing the hell out of them. So it can be done. Like, you just got to keep going, I guess. But anyway, I've just taken that rust off, so it just looks a little bit more presentable. You do get all this kind of oxidization on all these components, but this car's not going to be like a concourse show winner car, but it's just a pretty. It's gone from being 140,000 mile, you know, pretty poor condition car. The headliner sagging, all sorts of problems with the locks, rusting on the boot, rusting the arches. The interior was all battered and, you know, not in great shape. But a lot of you are asking me how's the seat doing that Ram did a couple of years ago, almost. It's doing pretty good. I mean, it was a terrible seat. It was a terrible seat. It's showing some signs of wear down here still, and there, you know, there's a hole somewhere in this. I can't even remember where the hole is. There was a hole, I think, and there was a hole in here. But I think the seats are doing great. Maybe one day I'll upgrade the seats, but I want to kind of keep this car kind of as is, I think, because it's not like, I don't know, you know, I love, you get like the Recaro seats. Some of the guys had them in their E36s at Players, and they're really nice, but I think I just keep this all original, you know. I'm still looking for beige mats. These mats are not bright, but they're kind of okay for the time being. But I just like it, the fact that it's all original in there. It's all in pretty good lick, and the headliner doesn't whack me in the head anymore. There's not that many problems with this car. I did that little fix there where the seal had cracked with that Solgar or whatever it was you told me to use. Someone told me. It's done a decent job, that has. It's sealed the seal so no water's getting through in the crack. It's hardened off and it's working. Really, really good little fix that is. These seals that run around here are about 300 quid. So, you know, 600 quid to do both of them. You've got to kind of draw the line somewhere, haven't you? Yeah, well, you don't have to. If this was my only car, you might just keep going until it's like amazingly concourse. And some people, I realise, do. But when you got two of them, you know, there's limits. One step at a time. Once I spend this fortune on the car, and the alloys are all nice, and everything's good, then you know, maybe we do some little bits more. But I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm putting money aside. This might not be a good idea, but there is a third car that I'm hankering for. A third car. And I tell myself it'll be good for the channel. It probably won't make that much difference. It'll be good. It's just one of those addictions where you want to just buy another car. The reality of having three that you want to keep nice is difficult now, because with two it works quite well for me. I have one in the garage and it comes in and I film detailing stuff on it like I've just done, and then I'll swap it round and run it, you know, then run this for a couple of weeks and then get the M4 in and pamper it, do some bits, do some videos, use it for testing or whatever. And then I want to, you know, switch. I get the urge. I do, when I drive this for a long time, I really get a craving for the M4 because it's so much more civilized, and it's just such a great raw car, you know, to blast around in. It's just so much fun. Love it, actually. Really love that M4 CS. It's yeah, you know, I can't see myself ever getting rid of the M4 CS. The thing against it, I've said before, is that to track it, you're constantly worried about, you know, crashing, insurance, cost of parts. Although I don't think the brakes are going to be as much of an issue. The front ceramic pads aren't as expensive as I thought. I think you can get them for 665 quid, one of my patrons was telling me, for both fronts. So not that much more expensive. So if I just have to do the pads and not the discs first time around, that'll be absolutely fine. And the discs, they pay for themselves, so the pads pay for themselves, because they're so much better than normal brake pads that just get, you know, they just can't take track use. They just really can't. Maybe it's the way I'm braking or something. I give it some welly. I really do give it some welly on track days, and that's part of the problem. But it's nice to have a car that you don't have to worry about the brakes overheating on you, going and disappearing, boiling the old fluids. So yeah, anyway, back to this video, guys. What do you think? I think this thing looks quite good. A little bit of streak in there. Is that me? Is that because I didn't prep it properly? I don't know. But it looks, well, it's drying. Maybe it needs another coat, a bit of gloss. No. Yeah, but it's looking good on the scuttle, and that's more than good enough for me. It's just giving it a little bit of sheen. I'll put another coat on, because I can see where it's dried there, and I haven't got any there, so maybe a little bit more. Oh, it's over here, isn't it? Is that the wet side? Yeah. So just a little bit more there, and maybe don't rub that, just leave that thin layer to dry. Get it all in those corners. Down there. And a little bit more over here. That's it. So just turn that round to the dry side. It looks a bit more consistent now. Yeah. There we go. So yeah. It's addressing. It's very difficult, isn't it? Are you going to ever get any wow factor? Will we ever do... We've done like a tyre dressing comparison. Will we ever do one of these types of dressing comparisons? Possibly. Possibly. I've got the ability to test the darkening of them with the darkness meter. I've got some test pieces of plastic trim, so we could, in theory, order up a load of these. Maybe one day we will. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I've just shot a video talking through all the APC stuff as well. That's going to be a really interesting one. And I'm in the process of building a new tool shelf for my Rupev polishers, which will be cool. So I've just got to cut that piece to size, which I will get done. There's the rest of my little bits and pieces. Left-handed drills, caliper pins, non-marring tools, polishing cones, ceramic paste for the brake pads, all sorts of fun things. These are very handy for derusting. They're not quite as aggressive as the metal ones if you're taking off real heavy rust, but they're good for just surface rust where you don't really want to, that will scratch a lot more. This won't. So it's made by Silverline. I've talked about them before. You can get the round one as well. So there we go, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.